just like a sidebar of like, I read a fair amount of your work coming into this, mostly because I was finding it so enjoyable, to be perfectly honest. I wouldn't have read so thoroughly if I wasn't enjoying what I was reading. But I had this thought multiple times, and my wife asked me, like how it was going. And the thought that came to mind, and I wanted to make sure I said it before I forgot, which is, I now understand why Speaker Pelosi will not debate you.
She would certainly be embarrassed. I mean, I appreciate that. And I don't want to brag, and it's not any genius of mine. It's just, I know the truth too well. And it hasn't been reported. Reporters have been giving her softball questions for 20 years. She hasn't debated anyone since Ronald Reagan was the president, which is just absurd to me. And that's how she gets away with her voting record that nobody knows about. The district sends her back to Congress every 2 years. In spite of her active support for conservative interests, Republicans construct an image of her as if she's some lion of the left, which frankly serves conservative interests. And the gross part is that so many Democrats fall for the ruse. And you're absolutely right. I think the reason she can't debate me without losing, without her career ending, is that her record can't withstand scrutiny. And one of for me, the points of greatest disappointment in this process is just how absolutely complicit the press has been. In a democracy with a robust free press, if incumbents don't debate, the press calls them out. Or someone asks them hard questions. Why don't you debate your opponent? What are you trying to hide? The district's interested in why you call the Green New Deal, the Green New Deal, the Green New Dream, or whatever. The district's interested in why you don't bring Medicare for all to the House floor for the vote. The district's interested in why you're extending the tyrant's surveillance powers or giving him world historically unprecedented military budgets. But nobody asks her those questions. And on the rare occasion that she gets a question that demonstrates any independence at all, like Wolf Blitzer on CNN the other day, she basically melts down and has a tirade, not unlike the way our criminal president responds to interlocutors. And, I just feel like we deserve certainly better than that. People should answer questions from the press, and the press should ask hard questions. When the press isn't asking hard questions, it should unnerve us all, because frankly, that is as much a threat to elections and their legitimacy as computers being hacked, or foreign state intelligence actors leaning on the scale and buying ads, or Republican thugs intimidating voters. When the press doesn't show up for work, it does beg the question as to whether or not we can safely describe our elections as free or fair. And in spite of that, I'm certainly running the strongest campaign that we can without a press engaged to do the work that the Fourth Estate is supposed to, and doing everything we can to inform and educate voters that we have an alternative for the first time in 30 years to send a new voice to Congress.